Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video. I am Vinny, your host, also known as BNSF 6951. This is a model railroad channel. So if you guys are interested in run-up sessions, scratch builds, live streams, prototypes, and everything related to model railroads, this is the channel for you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there, hit the bell that's up there, and give me those too. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with the video, so come on in. This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF 6951. I am making great progress on Matt's build. This is part 3. If you want to see the progress I've made, tune into the video that's coming up right now. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is a building that is all one piece. Yes sir, my pieces that I scratch built are on here and they are on there permanently, and I think that looks pretty good. Now, there's reasons why I really don't like these Walters kits, and I'll show you why here. Let me show you. Now this is a piece right here that's going to go up here on top of the roof, okay? This is the roof section they give you that's supposed to go in there. Now watch what happens when I put this in here. Alright, I'm going to slide it in from the back. Can you see what's happening? It pushed that freaking thing out. It doesn't fit. I could squeeze it, but I'm not supposed to, I shouldn't have to do that. Anyhow, that's one thing that I found. Second thing I found, and I don't know if you guys are actually going to be able to see this, but this is a canopy, I guess you want to call it, that's supposed to go on this boss right here, okay? And there's 4 holes, and I don't know if you guys are going to see the holes on here. I'll try and point them out to you. But there's 4 holes in there, and there's 4 holes in the building. And they're supposed to be suspenders, I guess you would call them. And when I put this on originally, none of the holes lined up. I had to cut a piece off of here so it would fit and all the holes lined up. Then they put a hole on this side right here, but there's no hole on this side over here. What's up with that? Come on, Walters, get crap together, will you? Anyhow, what we're going to do next is, seeing that this building is pretty much complete right now, I'm not going to put any details on it just yet. And this thing is like totally freaking me out. I don't want to glue this down just yet because I have other stuff I have to put the windows and stuff like that in there. But anyhow, so what I did to camouflage the seams here, and they actually came out pretty good. I used this number 114 styrene strip. It's 15 thousandths by 80 thousandths, and it fit just perfectly right there, and right there, and there, and there. Anyhow, it all looks like one unit now. I may have to put something right in here to cover up that little seam that's right there. But other than that, I am really happy with the way this turned out so far. Alright, so now we're going to take this and put this out of the way. And we're going to take this guy and put him out of the way. Now we're going to attack the outbuildings. For the outbuildings, what I'm going to do is, I'll show you here in a second. You can see that. So you know I'm going to have a freight door here, and this is going to be trackside, and a people door here, and then a couple of truck doors, maybe one truck door, I'm not sure yet. Maybe something on the back side here. Anyhow, what I decided to do, rather than cut a lot of these doors out, let me put this in here so it holds it. What I did was, I took a piece of this styrene, the metal siding, and I turned it 90 degrees, and I made a door. Okay, now, we're going to put this door on here, and it's going to be a roll-up door. And for the housing, the roll-up, when the door rolls up, it's going to be, I'm using this half round, and that is number 244. And if I put that on top of here, like that, it kind of looks like a roll-up door. Let's see if I can push this over here so you guys can see that. And maybe tilt it a bit. Now, along the sides, I'm going to use this number, what is it? Number 122. And that's going to be my trim around the door. So basically, the only doors I'm actually going to cut out are going to be the people doors. And for the people doors, I am going to be using this Tichy Group single steel door. It's 30 inches wide by 80 inches high. So, with that being said, I did change the door size, by the way. Now it's 10 by 12 rather than a 10 by 10. I think a 10 by 12 looks a lot better and would be more functional if this was real. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and take this all apart. And cut the doors out that I need to cut out, and then we'll go ahead and assemble this and make it one solid building rather than having masking tape on there. So give me a couple of minutes to get set up and we'll start this process. Be back in a few. Alright guys, we're going to start cutting some holes in these walls, and the first one I'm going to do is the people door that's going to go on this side, but I'm going to cut it out from the back. And you can see that I have it already drawn out. It's 3 feet by 6.5 feet. And also, the door itself goes in from the front side, from this side here, but it's a lot easier to cut this small of a cut where you don't have to deal with the corrugation. Anyhow, like I said, it goes in from the front. I don't know if you guys are going to see this. Try and get as close as I can, but do you see that little lip that's on there? Well, that's what's going to fit in the hole. So my hole has to be pretty exact. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and do this. And we'll start. Again, I have a sharp brand new blade in here. And this is going to be 4 cuts. And let's see, where am I? Here I am. And so we're going to go ahead and do this. And this is going to require a lot of patience because you need to be right inside the lines. The hole has to be exact, otherwise you just wasted a piece of plastic. And to be honest with you, I don't want to waste another piece of plastic because this 6-inch by 12-inch sheet of plastic cost me $7.25. That nipper I got is good, except that on N scale there's a lot of stuff that you really can't use it. Like this door, for instance, the door is just too narrow to use that tool. I would really love it, and I don't know if it comes in different sizes. It'd be cool if it did, if it came skinnier. That doesn't. Now see, I was able to pop that out just like that. Yeah, that even looks pretty square. Alright, this is the test now. Let's see if this guy's going to fit in there. And remember, you could always make the hole bigger, but you cannot make it smaller. And as you can see, this is not sitting down all the way here, which means I need to make that just teeny weeny bit bigger.
And we will do that with a standing block, I think. Yeah, let's see how much we got to go. It's probably going to be one of these lines right here. So I'm going to try and go ahead and freehand this. Which side do I want to take away from? That side is really skinny. We'll take this side away. Alright. Sorry if my head's in the way, guy, but I really need to see where I'm cutting here. Alright, let's see if that can come out. Now, let's see if the door will fit. And it looks like we need to go a little taller. It fits this way. I just need to make it a little bit taller. Again, not by much. Now with this, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. Now I'm doing this from the front side so I can see exactly how much I'm taking off. I don't want to take too much off. Remember, you can make the hole bigger, but you can't make it smaller. Okay, that looks good right there. Okay, and now what we'll do is just take the knife in here, push it up to the corner on both sides, and then that piece should pop out. There you go. Now, this should fit in there perfectly. And look at there. Perfect fit. Alright, so basically I can go ahead and put this building together because, like I told you, I'm going to put the garage doors over the plastic, so I'm not worried about cutting holes out. But I usually hold this away from me to get an idea if it's straight or not, and that looks pretty darn good. And remember, I'm going to use the square tubing for the loading dock. And so, as you can see, that's going to be perfect. Alright, let me put this building together, and then we'll start on the other building, which is going to get one cut also, which will be a people door. So, now, to put this guy together, remember I always tell you guys, let's see, this is, let's see, where is, here we go. If you want your building to be longer, then put your front wall over the side wall. If you need to make it a little bit shorter, do the opposite. Take this front wall and put it inside the side wall. For this one, we're going to put it on the outside, like that. So, with that being said, what we're going to do is we need to put some reinforcements in here on both of these guys. And we're going to use this number 175, which is my go-to for corner posts. And let's see what we're going to need here. I'll cut up a few of these. Stay tuned and I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, nothing fancy about putting this building together. I made my post, my 4 posts, and I used my chopper because I have 4 here and then 4 for the other building, so I thought I'd just cut them all up at the same time. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and start gluing this down. And these are going to go from the bottom all the way up to the top, almost all the way up to the top. I'm going to leave room in case I want to put support for the roof up on the top. Now, you know I always do this, and I put it in there. And I make sure it's flush at the bottom, and I make sure it's flush on the side here. And again, what I would do is I would put it on my flat surface and I would just push down on it. And that would give me a flush fit along the edge of the wall. Alright, we're going to do the same thing 3 more times, and then we'll go ahead and put this building together. And then we'll start seeing how this is going to look, instead of having masking tape on there, to have the actual building sitting here. Alright, here's another one. guys really need to get into scratch building. I mean, it's so much fun, and you can create whatever your little head says you can create. And so that looks good there. All right. And we do the same thing on this next wall. Alright, so all 4 posts are on now. I'm going to let them dry up, and then we'll attach the front and back wall. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Alright guys, unfortunately I forgot to turn the mic on for the camera, so I'm going to do a voiceover for this section right here. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the 2 buildings that I have put together, and we're going to actually glue them up. So we're going to take the back wall or the front wall and put it up against the tray siding, and then take the side wall and put it up against the front wall, and then we'll put some magnets in there to hold it in there. And of course I'll be using my Model Masters glue. I am really hooked on that glue. It seems to work very well for me. And so here we go. We're going to put a bead on here, and I always go back and forth. People say that's crazy for me doing that, but I go back and forth just to make sure I got enough glue on there, because sometimes I actually can't see the glue. And that's even with my extra eyes on. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and place this in the squaring tray and push it up against the front wall, and then put a couple of magnets in there to hold it in place while it dries up. And now we're going to turn that tray around to make sure the corner is good. And looking at the corner, it looks just fine. So now we're going to use another corner of the tray, and we're going to go ahead and put the other wall together. And so we'll have 2 halves of the building ready to be assembled. And we're just trying to figure out the best way to do this, and the best way to do it is just like we have it right now. So the procedure will be the same here. We'll put a magnet on that back wall or front wall, whichever way we have it. I can't see the front of it, so I don't know where the doors are. But we're going to go ahead and put that magnet in there and hold it up there against the back. Make sure it's tight up against the back, because that's how you'll get a good corner. And again, we'll go ahead and slop some glue on there. And we'll go ahead and stick it in place and put a couple more magnets to hold it until it dries. This is my procedure of building one of these structures. I always use the corner posts. Sometimes I will not use the corner post, but according to how my corners come out, sometimes on the outside I'll put an angle over the corner to make it look like a piece of trim. But on this one, I don't think I'm going to do that, because the corners came out really, really good. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and continue on with the rest of this build. So stay tuned, and we shall be back here in a minute. Alright guys, after doing all of that, I realized that I didn't have my microphone on. So basically, the procedure was just to take the front wall, put it in first, and then put the side wall in after that and glue it. And then I did the same thing on this. And once this is all dry, I'm just going to flip this around this way, and we're going to go ahead and glue him up. And this building will be pretty much ready for paint. And again, I don't know what color paint I'm going to use yet. I'm taking into consideration what I was told, but I don't know if I'm going to follow that rule. But anyhow, we'll see how this is going to go. Be back in a little bit. Alright guys, what you're looking at now are the 2 completed outbuildings that I've done for this build. You can see I got people door there, and I got people door there. The next thing for me to go to is the roof sections. Now I'm going to make the roofs on this look like metal roofing, So with that being said, I already have the pieces cut out for the roofs. As you can see, I got one there and I got one there. So in order to make this look like a metal roof, we're going to do a little detailing to this. You can buy this from Evergreen, but I'll tell you what, for the $12 that they charge you for this kit, and the only thing you don't have to do with the kit is to do what I'm going to do right now, and that is to put in some grooves so we can mount the second part of this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 10 feet increments. And by doing this, I'll be able to draw some lines across the entire section of roofing here. And then we can go from there. Alright. Now, to make sure that these are straight, I'm going to be using my little 90-degree dealie right here. And we're just going to go ahead and put it like right there. Make sure we get square on the bottom so these lines come out straight. And this, again, guys, the more accurate you are with this, the better your model kit will look when you get done. And you'll see why I'm drawing these lines here in a few minutes. Just let me get this done first, and then we'll continue on. Now these 10-foot sections might be not prototypical, but to me, since all the kits I've done, it seems that the 10 feet that I'm using right now seems to work okay. It gives the appearance of what I'm looking for. It may not be prototypical as far as the size. The size may be 4 feet instead of 10 feet. But I noticed if I did it at the 4 feet, that it looks too congested. So I decided to move it out to 10 feet, which looks good. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I get this done. And I think what I need to do is trim this down because it looks a little cockeyed. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this little piece off right here. Get it straight. Anyhow, you can see that I have all these lines on here. So the next step we're going to do is we are going to take our X-Acto knife, and what I like to do with this is actually put the old blade back in that I just changed out, because the tip on here is going to be broken off and it's going to do good for what I'm going to do next. So we'll put that in there, lock it up, and now on the back side what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some grooves. And you're saying, why am I going to do grooves? Well, you'll see why here in a few minutes. And you just have to do a couple of score marks. I do usually 2 or 3. Works for me. And you always need to make sure that you're square from the line you just did, so it doesn't look too out of focus when you put it together. Alright, so now we have all of these grooves in here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit this sandpaper to knock down some of the ridges that are there, and then we will continue on from there. So I'm using right here is 230 grit.
It's the only thing I had available, but we're just going to do very light just to get rid of all the grooves that the blade left. Now, you can leave it like that, and when you paint it, you won't see the lines. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to take this number 110, which is 15 thousandths by 20 thousandths, and we're going to take these and put them in here like this. And that's going to give the appearance of the joints between the steel panels. Now, sometimes it might even be better if you do this, because you got this ridge piece that needs to be taken care of also. And I don't know if I'm going to use the same stuff, but I might use something different. By putting this in here, it's also going to keep your roof aligned the way it's supposed to be aligned as far as the peak goes. So basically, I can put that in there just like that, and I think that'll be good. So that's what we will do next. Now what I'm going to do, and I don't usually do this, but I am going to tape this down so when I glue this ridge piece in, it will be the way I want it to be. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a piece here and down to here. And same on this side. This is just so we can hold the form of the peak. Oh, and again, I forgot, before I do this, I need to trim this piece off. So let me do that now. I won't be able to do it once this is all together. Come on. Alright. There's just this little piece here that's not very square. So I just want to slice it off. And I'm using the old blade. I don't feel like changing the blade out again. Alright, so now that I got that piece cut off, we can continue on what I was trying to do. Uh-oh, the piece fell on the floor. Alright. What I'll do now is I'll go ahead and get rid of any unwanted plastic. Alright, so again, we can stick this back on here, and let's see, this got to be the back. So this is just a precaution I do. You don't need to do this, but to me, I think it's an important step. Alright, I just need 3 pieces to hold it in place, so now if I could pick this up. So now what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and glue this piece in here. And again, I'm using my Model Masters glue for plastics. And we'll just go ahead and put this guy. Let's see, let me get a groove, a little thing going here. And then basically I'll just trim the edges off. Alright, so now the ridge piece is in, which will basically hold it in this configuration as far as the peak and slant, or whatchamacallit, of the roof. And actually this guy needs to come over a bit, but that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that same plastic and we're going to just put grooves in here. I'm going to just put it in the grooves and it'll look like a metal roof. And basically what I'm going to do is I am just going to kind of measure these, and then I'll just cut a bunch of them to size. Alright. And then I'll trim whatever's left over. Now this part of the build is tedious, and so you guys need to be real patient doing this. Get another one of these out. Oh, I did tell you I'm using this number 110. I think I told you that. I told you guys that already. All right. Oops, hey, come back here. The length I'm cutting right now is just random. Like I said, I will trim them down after they get on the building. Alright, so we got enough to get started here. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. Alright, so let the process begin. Now remember, these are wider this way than they are this way. So we want to put the taller side standing up so it sticks above the roof. So what we're going to do now is just going to go and put the glue in, and the reason for the grooves is so you have a place for your glue to follow without getting all over the place. And what I do is just quickly run it down. Alright, and then we just go ahead and stick this guy in the groove. And like I said, I'll trim down the excess after this is all dried up. Alright, so you guys get the idea of what that's going to look like. So I'm going to go off camera right now. I'm going to finish this one and do the other one. And then we'll continue on from there. So stay tuned and we'll be back here in a few minutes. Alright guys and gals, this is the finished product of the roof sections, as you can see right here. There's number 1. And here is number 2. And this will look good when it's all painted up. Anyhow, I think that's going to be all for this video, and I hope you guys and gals enjoyed it. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 and the Cuz out for now.